Hello everyone, and welcome to Starknet All Core Devs Call 32. So, today we mark exactly like 3 days since our original plan for July 28th mainnet target. So, in our last call, we made some strategic decisions to O 14.0 mainnet by 1 to 2 weeks of delay to ensure both internal and external readiness. So, today is all about getting clarity on where we stand and locking in a final deployment timeline if possible. So, few rules for this call is that we are recording this call and it's been broadcasted live on YouTube as well. So, please stay muted when you're not speaking and feel free to turn on cameras. It just makes the conversation more engaging. So, today's focus is we need to concentrate updates on the production readiness, final timeline confirmation, and coordination for what will be one of Starknet's most significant upgrades to date. So, let's just dive in to the agenda. So first on our agenda is mainnet O 14.0 deployment status and timeline updates from Leo. So Leo, in the last call, you mentioned the delay was for both internal readiness and stress testing, plus some external ecosystem coordination. So we would love to hear about the testing progress and how the internal readiness assessment is looking, and what is the status with the external ecosystem partners as well. And most importantly, if you can give us a final deployment date we all have been waiting for. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, the stabilization of the code base is ongoing. The date still remains the delayed one from last week, so August 18th. About external readiness, yeah, for sure the delay gives some breathing room to partners, among them full nodes that are here, but also other entities like wallets and dApps. For so in the whole readiness agenda is the amount of transactions that are still sent on mainnet and which are soon to be deprecated. So there's still a significant percentage of that, so around 15%, most of which seems to come from bots. So we're still in the process of reaching out to the best of our abilities to people in the ecosystem. But yeah, we'll. I think that no matter what we do, there will be still a percentage of transactions like that on mainnet at upgrade time. But yeah, at some point, one needs to simply go ahead. I think that's mostly it. So yeah, TLDR is still on track for August 18th. Obviously, hopefully it will happen on the day. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Leo. And I believe we can move on to the next point on agenda, which is like client team updates. So let's hear from our client teams on the production readiness status. So I would like to go first with Pathfinder, Christian. So Christian, you released O18 as a bug fix over O17 with that additional database migration. So how's that been working out and any feedback from the people who are using it on the WebSocket API enablement coordination and documentation updates? And where do we stand on the JSON RPC O9 subscription method implementation?
Yeah, okay. So yes, we did release Pathfinder O18, which is a small update compared to Pathfinder O17, but it contains a database migration. So technically, it's a breaking change. That's the cause of the version bump. The feedback has been largely positive in the sense that this migration doesn't take that long as the previous one. So people were happy about that. And we have already received a few reports of some small JSON RPC inconsistencies which have been fixed. And we are still working on the new subscription methods that for JSON RPC 09 that will allow access to pre-confirmed data. Unfortunately, as far as I've seen, there's still no final specification yet. In fact, I've just found an issue with the spec like 30 minutes ago or something like that. So it's still an ongoing progress. We have an open PR for subscribe new transaction receipts. We are still working on subscribe new transactions. And there are a few adjustments that we will need to make for other subscription methods too. So this is still very much a work in progress. We have also accumulated a couple of additional feature requests from Leo, for example, like regarding changing configuration defaults and stuff like that. So that is also something we are planning to implement before cutting a new version. But long story short, top priority is the subscription method implementation and supporting the full set of JSON RPC methods in the latest specification. And as soon as we reach that, we will just release a new version of Pathfinder. We have received no issues about sync problems though, so we believe that syncing is okay on Starknet 014, and it's mostly these JSON RPC deficiencies that are holding us back from full production readiness.
Okay, perfect. So we can move to Juno now. Rodrigo, on the last call, we were targeting 015 stable release for end of the week or beginning of this week. So did that happen? And how's the Tendermint implementation looking for final validation and production readiness?
Yes. So yeah, we make a stable release last week, at the beginning of last week, and then which it was 0.15.0. There was some issues specifically on mainnet starting at 13. And so we have deal with them, and mostly was because of we're not giving a number to pending block, and it was causing issues with some attestations. So now that's fixed and all for 15.1. So now we're working to continue being spec compatible with the latest RPC spec and fixing any other issues that appears. Regarding consensus, like tender implementation is almost done. Like we're in this phase, like we're fine tuning, like looking refactoring to improve performance, to make things go work, and trying to work also on the reliability of the program when there is not so happy, right? When there is bad actors or when the network crash or whatever, so that it can recover successfully. Yeah. Also, just to say, we changed a bit the way our snapshot system worked. So now before you had to download it to Juno, you had to download it to your machine, decompress it, and then you can set up Juno, right? And that was like twice the space, right? Like for things as a poly, it doesn't matter because it's just 30 gigabytes, 40, 50. But for mainnet, it's like 500 gigabytes of information. So now it's also reduced. So you can directly download, so it's easier to set up. So it's a good thing. And yeah, I think that's on our side.
Okay, perfect. So we can move on to Trantorian. So Trantorian is in the call today.
Trantorian is not in the call today, but
Okay.
I can give an update.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
Trantorian
Go ahead.
mentioned, yeah, he mentioned that they were behind schedule on 014.0 sync support for testnet. So what's the current status there, and how are the pre-confirmed block database updates coming along?
So it's not yet released. So we've modified a lot of our backend to support the pre-confirmed block, especially for block production. And so I expect the pre-confirmed support to be released with the subscribe transaction stuff. or like near it, like with support for the so we will get the full V09 support along with the subscribe transaction stuff, I think, all at once. And apart from that, we are still having being blocked a little bit with the SNOS implementation in Rust. So like for Madara chains, for full V014 support, I guess.
Okay. And where do you feel that you guys stand on overall mainnet deployment readiness?
For where we stand, we need to make a release with a full V09 RPC support. Basically, we still haven't made that.
Okay, perfect. Then we can move on to the next point on our agenda, which is consensus implementation and cross-client testing coordination. So I believe Adi can help us with this. So Adi, you had established that interesting distinction between the consensus level and the execution level testing. So how did the coordination with Pathfinder team go, and what's the status on latest Malachite version and the block sync improvements that you talked about?
Yeah. So the testing for interoperability, indeed, we made a distinction between consensus level and P2P level versus execution and full stack testing. From the point of view of the Malachite consensus engine, we cannot test the execution layer because that's outside of the realm of the things that we can control in the Malachite engine. We only control the consensus side of things. So that's the type of interoperability test that we're going to take care of. That's still ongoing. I think the last part left is for the Apollo sequencer to finish the implementation of, I think there was one last part of the liveness subprotocol changes that need to be wrapped up before we can wrap up the PR on the Malachite repo. As for execution or full stack interoperability tests, we agreed and double checked this understanding with the Pathfinder team, and they have agreed with this two-part strategy that they're going to own the testing of the interoperability as with regards to the full stack, or that includes execution. We also had, by the way, I wanted to say. Very grateful for a lot of very useful feedback that Abel and Chris gave us in the call. I think it was exactly 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. Yeah. So many thanks for that. Very useful feedback on what we do better in Malachite. I think that's it. That's as much as I can report. Block sync. You mentioned block sync as well, Ayush. I said this last time also that neither Madara nor Pathfinder are using the block sync that Malachite exposes because the two teams are integrating at the lower level of abstraction. So block sync is an application level concern. We do support block sync in Malachite, but it's not being used by Madara or Pathfinder because they have their own. And we are making improvements to that block sync. They are, I think the PR for those improvements is in the last stages. It's being tested by another user, but not super relevant here.
Okay. Okay, then we can move on to the next point on agenda, which is P2P network evolution and O15 features. So Shahak is here today. So Shahak, in the last call, you introduced some pretty significant changes with the authentication mechanism. So
Yes.
how's the DNS infrastructure migration completion looking right now?
Are you talking about the authentication protocol that was presented?
Yes.
So we haven't had time to release specs for it due to O14. I hope that once O14 finishes, we'll be able to take care of that and release specs for this protocol. But the idea is, as we said last time, that whenever you make a connection with another node, then each node sends a challenge, and then they sign the peer ID of both sides and the challenge with the Stark key, and tying the identity of the peer with the staker identity.
Okay. And so is there any other thing that the Any other thing about implementation of the staker-only consensus requirements that the client team should know about?
Right now, no.
Okay.
We have the specs as they are today. I believe that they will have some changes. For example, they don't have signatures and stuff like that. It will be taken care of later on.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And is there anything else that you would want to add on, Shad?
No, I think that's all.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I guess we are completed with our agenda today. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that anyone would want to discuss before we close the call? Okay, so our next call is going to be on August 14th. Hopefully by then, uh, we'll have some more news about the mainnet deployment. So thanks everyone for getting on the call, and the entire Starknet ecosystem is very excited about this.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was just saying thanks everyone for getting on this call, and everybody in the ecosystem is excited about the things which we are doing right now. So see you all in 2 weeks from now. Have a nice day, guys.
Bye.
Everyone.